Welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes with DailyStraight.com. Our guest today is Diana Talit, who is the New York Trade Commissioner for the Malaysian External Trade Development Corporation, Matrade for short. Ms. Talit has over 25 years of working experience in both the private and public sector, 11 years as a corporate banker and 14 years in the public service with Malaysia's Ministry of International Trade and Industry, accumulating experiences in international trade promotion, entrepreneur development, and forging government-private sector relations. Prior to her New York posting, Ms. Talit was based in Paris for 5 years from 2009 to 2014 as the same as the Malaysian Trade Commissioner overseeing the promotion of Malaysia's trade with France, Spain, Portugal, and Monaco. While in France, she actively promoted Malaysia and France collaboration in the aerospace engineering services and collaborated with ABE Event of France to set up the business convention called the Kuala Lumpur International Business Convention, KLIABC. Our interview with Ms. Talit today will be centered around the trade and development between the US and Malaysia. Without further ado, let's invite Ms. Talit to the show. Hi, Diana. How are you today?
Hi, June. It's really nice. It's good to hear from you again after quite a while.
Yes. So, just a bit of background. I've known Diana for many moons now. I think since she was in Paris as the trade commissioner there, because I had a lingerie brand then, and she was helping me promote the brand. So today's interview is going to be talking about her expertise in the same sector, but with the Americans and Malaysia, and what she's been doing in New York, because she's dialing in from New York today. So, all right, let's dive right into the questions. In a nutshell, can you please explain what Matrade does?
Thank you very much, June. First and foremost, to all the listeners out there, as well as thank you very much for your time to listening to this podcast, as well as thank you to June Ramli for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences as a trade commissioner, helping to promote Malaysia's trade globally. So as per your question, what does Matrade do? The main role of Matrade is basically to promote Malaysia export to the world. So we were established in 1993 under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. So we've been around quite a bit, and we have 46 offices all over the world. And like I mentioned just now, the main function of Matrade is to promote Malaysia export to the world.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you identify which businesses to help? Do they walk into your office, or because I understand they need to have a Matrade number before you can start giving them any kind of consultation, right? Or can you just tell me the steps a Malaysian business must take before you can render this kind of help?
Well, technically, you don't have to be a Matrade member to get help assistance from Matrade. In terms of how we help Malaysian entrepreneurs or exporters, it can be categorized under different categories. For example, we help in terms of developing the exporters, what we call under the exporters development. Then we have what we call the export promotion, and then the other activities is advisory. Under the export development, it relates to the capacity building of companies. So when your question was about how do we decide or select which company to help. So basically anybody that comes to us, for example, if you are new, just a company who's trying to understand what export business is all about. So you go to, falls under our advisory services. So we have this unit in our HQ, where you go there and you consult with our officers and you ask the relevant question. For example, what should I do? What kind of product can I export? Where can I start? So this is basically for people who are new. They haven't have any business yet. They have intention to start a business. So on the other hand, there are companies who are already established domestically, but they don't have the export capability yet. So how we help them, that falls under what we call exporters development. We help them to build their capabilities in terms of, for example, we give them trainings. The training also can be categorized into three categories, I should say. The company who has not exporting, company who are already exporting, but for example, maybe less than 5 years, and also for companies that have their mature exporters. So they want to explore new market, they want to expand their market share in that particular market. So our training that we provide to each category of exporters based on their capabilities. I'll give you an example. If you are already exporting to the US, now you want to go to Canada, or you already present in the US, let's say you want to increase your market share. So we train you what is your strategy. For example, how can you approach the market here? What kind of strategy that works and what kind of strategy that doesn't work? So it's a very wide, I would say it is very, tailored needs to each of the companies or exporters' capability. So that is how we help companies in general.
Okay, so what's the benefit of having the Matrade number? Because I know that sometimes you have to register, right? And then I used to have a Matrade number before. So I was wondering, is there any extra benefit for that?
The extra benefit is that when you register a Matrade member, is that you are entitled to access the the incentive that we have. If you are not Matrade members, for example, you will not be listed as in our database, and you will not be able to receive information. But if you happen to go to one of our training programs, we will not turn you away because you are not a Matrade members. But like I said, the benefit of being a Matrade members is you have access to our database, you have access to the incentive program that we offer to companies. So that are the advantages of being a Matrade members.
Okay, and everything is free, right? Your
membership,
your help.
Membership is free. But if you, for example, participate in our international trade show, there's some fee that you need to pay. But during this pandemic, the government, Matrade has reduced a lot of that participation fee because basically companies are not able to travel abroad. So basically what they do is participate in a virtual trade show or virtual meeting. So there is very little to a small amount of participation fee or free.
Okay, great. Okay, the range of entrepreneurs that you help. You did say just now that you help a lot of people, but what about solopreneurs, like creative entrepreneurs, like one-man show? Does Matrade still, give their hand out to help these people?
Yeah, solopreneurs, it falls under, like I mentioned just now, the different category of exporters. For example, if you are a solo entrepreneur, a startup. So, like I say, our help, it depends on your capability, right? If you are just starting out, you don't have the export capability. So this is we tailor what is how to train you. But if you are already have the export capability, so this is the program that we offer you. For example, we bring you, if you are, for example, you are providing services, for example, maybe animation. I'll give one example. So what we do, we offer you participation in international trade show in animation, for example, in the US or any market that you identify where you would like to explore that particular market. So like I say, it is for everybody, depending on their capability as exporters.
Okay, great. All right, so that is all I wanted to ask you about Matrade, to give the listeners an idea of what Matrade does. So now let's move on to your post in New York. So you have been in New York, if I'm not mistaken, 2018, right?
Yeah, since July, middle of officially report duty is July 2018. So it's about 3.5 years now I've been here. I have not been back home 3+ years.
All right, great. So just tell me, right, how Malaysian businesses faring in New York? Like when you go and talk to an American, right, when you ask them anything like about Malaysia, right, what do they say to you?
I don't quite get that question. Is it from the perspective of business?
Yes, from the perspective of business, because it's a trade office based in a very strategic place in New York. But do you get a lot of people walking in asking you whether they want to make asking you about how to go, and either Americans wanting to offer services in Malaysia, or is it the other way around? So which one do you see more? More Malaysians wanting to break into the US market, or more Malaysians? Because I know US is the number one trading partner for Malaysia at the moment. Like, it's been like that for a long time.
Well, I would like to correct it, but actually US is Malaysia's third largest trading partner, basically.
Okay.
In terms of inquiries, we receive from both sides, from the American companies who wants to source for product and services from Malaysia, or also from Malaysian company who are interested to to find out about market here, potential collaboration, but whatever products they, the list of importers that they want to link with. So we receive both. So how do we help these parties? For example, before the COVID, the lockdown due to COVID. So we have several trade promotion program that we organize yearly. Either we bring American or North American buyers physically back to Malaysia to attend what we call international sourcing program. Either that is in conjunction with the Malaysia International Halal Showcase MIHAS, or the furniture show, or the oil and gas show, or the aerospace ABC, the one that you mentioned in the introduction for my bio just now. So we used to do that, bring buyers, we call premium buyers, to participate in a pre-arranged business meeting with Malaysian companies in Malaysia. But now, due to COVID, there's a travel restriction, right? So nevertheless, work still have to continue, promotion work still have to continue. We still have to help Malaysian companies. We still have to help American companies who wants to source from Malaysia. So what we currently doing, all our offices and 46 offices all over the world, we organize a virtual business meeting, what we call e-biz matching. So this we do very frequently because we have been receiving a lot of inquiries. So we match them up with the Malaysian suppliers who are legit and who have the capability to supply. We make sure that those suppliers have the capability to supply. We do the background check first, and we make sure that they're able to supply to the buyers. So like I said, COVID or no COVID, lockdown or no lockdown, work has to continue. Promotion works, we need to continue and to help our business community back in Malaysia.
Okay, some of the notable business projects you have facilitated in the US today. So you've been there for 3 years already, and I know in between there was COVID, but before that, was there anything that you helped start up in one company from Malaysia who was trying to break into the US market, and you also successfully managed to help them all the way?
First came here, we did not have that kind of opportunity because we sort of do not have the much activities back then. But I give you one example of how one of the projects that I'm quite proud of, that I helped one American companies to set up in Malaysia. This company has been, they were badly affected by the US trade war with China. So the tariff, they are in the furniture business, a public listed company here in New York Stock Exchange. So they were affected by this, they used to produce in China. They manufacture the furniture in China, but because of the increase in tariff imposed by the US, and of course China as well as retaliated against the US in terms of tariffs. So their business has been affected. So they came to us to explore and ask us about the opportunities to relocate to Malaysia. So what we did, we bring this particular company back to Malaysia. That was in 2019, way before the COVID started, right? So we bring this particular representative to Malaysia to arrange a couple of business meetings with a few companies, furniture companies that we thought are able to produce the furniture that they have been produced in China. So we did that meeting for this particular representative of this company in Kuala Lumpur in our headquarters, and we also bring him around to visit the factories back in Malaysia. So 1 year later, they managed to find a partner, OEM partner. They did a partnership with this company based in Perak. And according to a few months back, we get a feedback from this company, and they said they already producing and already exporting back to the US. And the particular brand it's a modular kind of furniture. One of the fastest growing. I mean, they're public listed. So that kind of assisted. I mean, this is just one example of our success stories. Another example is one company who is producing the water tank. Tank for commercial building. So one of the commercial project, real estate development project, which is very huge here, which is not far from where I live, is the Hudson Yard development project. So this particular company supply through an importer. I mean, this importer import this water tanks installed in that particular development in Hudson Yard. I'm not sure. I think if you remember the Hudson Yard, I'm not sure whether when you were here, the vessel was already open or not, but this is a 5 billion real estate project. So our company, or Malaysian company, because we introduced them to this particular importer, so they managed to supply to this project. So they are part of that project. So this is what the example of some of the projects or some of the company that we have on both sides, the Malaysian side and as well as the American side.
Wow, very good. Very, very good. And I wanted to ask you, right, what are some of the mistakes that Malaysian entrepreneurs make that hold them back from breaking into the US market?
I would say that it begins with company. Sometimes they fail to, do a research or do analysis on their own strength and weaknesses. So because of that, they sometimes do not know where is the best market to go, what kind of strategy that they can use for that particular market. So because of they don't do that particular due diligence first, so sometimes they don't even know, for example, the pricing strategies or the market trends. I give you example of the trade show that we're going to organize and participate next month in North Carolina. So some of the companies came back to us even asking, what kind of pricing should I charge? What kind of trend of furniture should I send as a sample to be displayed in the exhibition, right? So this tells you that they don't do their own research. They don't know the market well. So that's the reason why Matrade is providing this kind of exporters development, export capacity building. So this is one of a few examples of seminar that we organize, training program to understand the market, what is the trend in that particular market, what is the market entry strategies in a particular market. So we have a series of training programs that we offer to companies. So this is among the mistake I would say that company make.
Okay, so this one, I think you've answered this question many times, but I want to ask you again. So has COVID-19 put a dent in the international trade between Malaysia and the US? And if you could supplement some figures, like, if there's any figures of...
No, definitely. Interestingly, the COVID-19, the pandemic, or even the trade war with China, it works to our benefit, in fact. So I can give you example of some figures, right? Year-to-date figure, which mean that as at July, the latest one is July 2021. It's a comparison of July this year and July last year. So our total trade with the US has increased about 35%. So it's about 41.13 billion. That's our total trade with the US. Yeah. And our total export to the US has also increased 39%. And we have, there is 32.5 billion export to the US, right? And we still have trade surplus with US totaling 23, almost 24 billion, which is up by 47%. So if you're asking me what are the top 5 export to the US, of course, Malaysia's main export is the electronics. So that has increased about 27%. So your electrical electronics is, for example, your integrated circuit, your semiconductor, your diodes used in the various industry. So that has increased about 27%. Another example is the machinery and appliances. For example, this is your printers, your personal computers, keyboard, all those related to computer peripherals. It has increased about 43%.
Wow.
Compared to July last year. January, July 2020 compared to January, July this year. So another one that we have benefited a lot because of COVID is, maybe because you asked me what contributed to this increase. So because of the trade war with China, tariff has made Chinese product more expensive. So this is example of market diversion. So American companies are looking to other countries to source away from China. So Malaysia is one of the countries that benefit from this, right? So another product category or product export that we have benefited a lot, I'm sure you're aware of this, is the rubber product. Rubber product is is medical gloves. Gloves. So that has increased more than 200% compared to last year. It's equivalent to 3.8 billion US dollars.
Okay.
So those examples. Another example is our Malaysian furniture. Malaysian furniture has also increased about 39%, about 1.3 billion US dollars. So the reason why our furniture export has increased is because of the demand due to lockdown. People stay at home, so they want to look at nice furniture, so they buy new furniture for their kids. The what do you call this, office furniture, the tables, the chair. For people were locked down at home, so they want to have a nicer environment because they don't want to be depressed looking at old furniture. So somehow this COVID and the lockdown benefited us in a way.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is food anywhere there? Because Malaysia is known for its wonderful cuisine.
Yeah, food is not one of our top 5 or top 10, but Malaysian brand who is already available in the market, like your Old Town Coffee. There's even Papa Rich restaurant here. One is in Flushing, which is in New York. The other one is in New Jersey. So we have Papa Rich and the famous, I would say, your roti prata, Kawan from the Kawan, the Kawan brand is also available in the US market. So all this white coffee stuff, ahwat, achok, all are available here in the US.
I just wanted to ask you, when you mentioned that I'm from Malaysia, what is their first reaction?
They know most of the people that I deal with, that I meet, either under the capacity of the business, official or social. Everybody they know Malaysia. I have not come across anyone that say where is Malaysia. No, so far people that I met, they know Malaysia. I don't hear anybody giving negative comments on or perception as far as Malaysia is concerned. So I would say that Malaysia is well recognized here. They know that we produce. If you talk about the business people, they know that our products are high quality. So our branding in terms of product quality, they put us. We are not a cheap producer, and we are certainly quality producers of products.
All right. So the final question is, what is your proudest career moment to date?
I should say that, when I was based in Paris, I started this collaboration with the ABE event to establish this Kuala Lumpur International Business Convention, the one that you mentioned in my bio just now. We start because to get this event to materialize is not easy, because for a fact that this event the partner, the event with ABE Event. They are the subsidiary of PCI Aerospace. They are well known for their expertise in organizing trade shows all over the world in the domain of aerospace. So they have choices. Besides, especially they can go to Singapore, they can go to Indonesia, right? But somehow I managed to convince them to set up this event in Kuala Lumpur, because during that time, it was around 2011, 2012, the growth of the aerospace industry was, they know that it was in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of company that in airlines, they're buying these airplanes for their airlines, right? So there's opportunities for the repair and maintenance services, or even all those engineering services. So the purpose of us establishing that trade show, business convention, was us to make Malaysia a hub for the aerospace sector in Southeast Asia by bringing together the global players of the aerospace industry, like the Airbus or the Boeings and all their main vendors, to meet up with the suppliers in Southeast Asia region, and this can benefit Malaysian suppliers in this industry. So that was the purpose. So I kind of proud that I'm part of that, the team that make this event materialize, and we hope that this event will continue and benefit the industry.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and all right, that is all the time that we have for today. We have just been speaking to the Malaysian External Trade Development Corporation, Matrade for short, Trade Commissioner in New York, Ms. Diana Talit. Thank you, Diana, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, June, for having me, and thank you to all the listeners out there who are taking time to listen to the podcasting. If you need to do, if you're interested to do business with Malaysia, do contact our office or contact me directly, diana@matrade.gov.my or newyork@matrade.gov.my.
Awesome. Be sure to join us next week as we aim to interview another awesome individual for this podcasting series. Thank you very much.